All right, so Dart functions. There's three main things I want to talk about Dart functions. But the magical fourth is that every Dart program, for the most part, needs to start with a main function. So if you're from a C background or even Java, you might get that. But the rest of us are like, it has to have a main. Why? Well, that's just how it works. They want to start up something, so that's what it does. Okay? So if you're from JavaScript, you're probably used to something like this. Function main, right, in brackets. You notice that Dart is very similar. The difference is that in Dart, you do not need the function. It's implied when you do parentheses like this with the brackets, okay? So you'll notice I have void on the left. So that is the optional strong type system where you can put the return type of the function, what it returns, on the left. Now, void is actually a misnomer. It's not really void. It's actually return null unless you say like int or some kind of type. So by default, it'll return null even though it says void, right? So when you create a new language, it's good to get ambiguities out of the way. They obviously didn't get that one, right? It should have been null, but in this case, return null and void are the same thing. Okay, so that is void. That is the main function. This is the only function that's called for you. Main is called for you. You don't have to go main to start your program. It's actually invoked for you. Let's create our first function called message. So it'll return void as well. And we'll print we'll say, sup, dog. Now you'll notice if you do not code correctly, the Dart editor will say, yo, you're missing stuff, bro, as you type. I don't even have to save, right? Look, ma, no hands. Pretty cool. All right, so we're going to call this guy message. And you'll also notice, just like normal, regular function declarations, not anonymous, not expressions, blah, 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 you can forward reference functions if they're defined in a normal function block. So I can call message even though message is defined after a void. Seems benign, but some people from functional language go, oh my god, forward referencing, blah, blah. Things like Lua and other languages where it's run as it's defined, those kind of things, you got to be careful about such things. But Dart, not so much. So we'll run this guy, just hit the play. It'll compile it as a Dart application. See, in the console it plays sup. Cool, so we can call it twice. Run it again, you'll see the message twice that time. Cool. So, just to verify the whole return void thing, so we'll say cow equals null. That is our constant of null, okay? And then we'll say cow equals message invoked. Print that out, and it should be true because void functions, right, return null by default. If you do not return anything, defaults to this, okay? Just to be clear here. So when I run this, it prints out true, plus our message as well. Make sense? Okay, so you get void.